Hello everyone, thanks for joining our video. In this video, me, Noel, Astri, Bagas, and Mala will discuss about water crisis with topic clean water availability and climate change, a study of water crisis in Kedung Karang Demak Regency. Here's an outline that we will be discussed following by the name of the presenter. And now I will describe the background of this topic. Kedung Karang village is located on the coast or near the coast of Central Java. People who live there has not had access to clean water provided by PDAM, and their waters from well it tastes salty and only can be used for limited purpose. Then people who live there buy water from another district or make artesian well to get a groundwater. But prolonged and excessive groundwater extraction resulting in decrease in groundwater availability and can result in decrease of the ground surface. Here's the following question will guide us in this discussion. 1. Can global climate change affect the case of water crisis? 2. Are there other alternatives to solve the water crisis? Then a reason why we have to discuss this topic, following by the purpose and benefit to discuss this topic.
Result science. According to Quantity and Sharif, water is the most unique natural resource when compared to other resources because it is renewable and dynamic. This means that the main source of water in the form of rain will always come in season according to time. However, under certain conditions, water can be non-renewable, for example, in certain geological conditions where the journey of groundwater takes the thousands of years. The water crisis is a problem where overpopulation and excessive water consumption partners. The low availability of clean water can have a negative impact on all factors, especially health. Water scarcity that occurs can have a more serious impact, namely skin disease or other diseases. In some cases, people who are afflicted with this serious disease problem cause death. Thank you.
Results of Assessment of Ethics and Spiritual. 1. Assessment from Environmental Ethics. According to environmental ethics, climate change affects water. Based on literature studies that have been carried out, it is found that the groundwater balance is influenced by water availability, precipitation, and evapotranspiration. The increase in air temperature caused by global warming and climate change causes faster evaporation, causing groundwater to decrease more quickly. Climate change in the form of change in air pressure, wind direction and speed, and rainfall. The manifestation of this change is irregular rains, difficult to predict the seasons. 2. Assessment from the ethical point of Pancasila. Considering the clean water crisis experienced by Kedung Karang village for a long time, the water crisis occurs because there is no PDAM supply, and the wells used by residents tend to be salty, so that the residents of Kedung Karang village mostly depend on the availability of well water and buy clean water. Buying clean water is still done because well water that comes out tends to be salty. The residents of Kedung Karang village buy clean water that is peddled by the residents of Jepara. According to Pancasila ethics, this is the opposite where the government must ensure that anyone will have the right or access to get clean water anytime and anywhere throughout Indonesia.
The first program is seawater desalination. Seawater desalination is a technology for separating salt from seawater. So, that clean water can be produced that can be used for drinking and meet the needs of clean water in Kedungkarang village. The byproduct of this process is salt. When seawater is boiled, the salt will dissolve in the water and evaporate. Evaporate water will produce steam which can change fast when the temperature decreases. This technology requires more power source to operate using solar power. The second program is rainwater harvester. Rainwater harvesting system is one alternative in dealing with the water crisis. This system is a very suitable system to be applied in Kedungkarang village because the method is not complicated. Every household can practice it. For each household, the process is only to collect rainwater from the roof or rainwater that falls, and then the water can be used during the dry season. The following is equipment needed to harvest rainwater on a household scale which can also be applied in Kedungkarang village. The last program is combined rainwater harvester with pump simas. In Kedungkarang village, there is already a pump simas. However, it does not function optimally because there is no raw water source in the village. Regarding rainwater harvesting, the problem is not having a reservoir. Therefore, the right solution for the village of Kedungkarang is combination of pump simas and rainwater harvesting, where the source of water for pump simas comes from rainwater, so that residents do not need to buy water tanks but by optimizing the existence of pump simas.
The last is reflection. The needed only for the availability of sufficient air is not competed by humans, but also by another living things. Air can also support life on Earth. Water is the large constituent of the human body, which has a proportion of 70%, while in plants it has a proportion of 95%. This paper discusses the lack of the air that occurs in Kedungkarang village, which is located on the coast of the coast, which causes difficulty in meeting the need for clean water. In addition, PDIM has not been able to reach all locations. Villages fulfill their need for clean water by using well water, which has contaminated by sea air so that the water tastes salty. To overcome the water crisis in Kedungkarang village, assistance from the government is needed. The government can use several methods of handling that can be done, namely seawater distillation, rainwater harvesting system, a combination of rainwater harvester and pump simas. However, there are several problems related to the use of this method, namely: first, operational costs of seawater desalination and rain harvesting are quite expensive. Second,
Its geographical location close to the Java Sea makes the air experience taste intrusions so that the well water tastes salty. Third, the water crisis in Kedung Karang village is caused by disaster caused by climate change. 4. Shallow groundwater or well water evaporates faster through the process of evaporation and evapotranspiration caused by temperature. The last, the government has established Pasimas, a reservoir for rainwater collection, and sent a clean water tank truck. However, it turns out there are still obstacles, such as the Pasimas, which is often dry without raw water, dirty rainwater reservoirs, and clean water tank truck that do not meet the water needs of the community and only come 5 times in 2 weeks when the air crisis starts to get worse. In overcoming the problem of the water crisis, it is not only the responsibility of the government. The easiest and the most sportive technique to be applied in Kedung Karang village is a combination of rainwater harvesting and Pasimas techniques. With a people line that leads the Pasimas as the tank. The government can also add dams to collect rainwater. With the recommendation that have been given, it is hoped that the residents of Kedung Karang village can access clean water smoothly. In addition to the government, our group also hope that all of us will be aware of this problem together. By taking more care of nature and our environment, such as maintaining environmental clean lines, maintaining the presence of water so that it is not polluted by waste and garbage, saving users, disposing of garbage in its place, prevent illegal logging. In addition, our group hopes that there will be awareness in the use of water. With this paper, we can all learn and care more about nature and our environment. Let's take care of the beauty of our art. Thank you for attention.